Hi, my name's Paula, and I'm a OneLegacy ambassador. I was married to my husband, George. We were high school sweethearts. Started our family with my son, Scott, and had our second child, Allison. Scott, I always say he was born with a smile on his face. He was also an avid photographer, and he and I had a friendly competition to see who could get the best sunset picture. Scott was fun, happy, always smiling, creative, athletic, loved life. And it was in the middle of COVID. I got a call from the medical center that no parent ever wants to hear. And they said he was there on a ventilator support, and the world just came crashing down. I thought of my husband, who had just been gone 2 years, and wished he was lying next to me and comforting me, but I was alone, and I knew Scott needed to be with his dad now. And I talked to him, I prayed for him, and I said, Scott, you can go, we're gonna be fine. Go be with Dad, it's okay. But we knew that there was no chances for him to recover from his injuries. It was a suicide attempt. I remember events of going into a room with the doctors, and then they said 7 words to me that changed everything in that moment. They said, your son is a registered organ donor. I didn't know he was an organ donor, but I felt a bit of light. It was the only moment that my daughter and I felt hope. Scott could give something back. His heart recipient's name is Jeff. He shared that because of Scott's heart, he was able to walk his daughter down the aisle for her wedding. We met. They had a lot of similarities, and the one thing I wanted more than anything was to hear Scott's heartbeat. And that, again, just solidified my goal to spread the word about organ donation. And it's helped round out my knowledge of the organ donation process. I always wanted to do something that at the end of the day I could say I made a difference. I got to personally thank the ICU nurse who did call OneLegacy on Scott's behalf, and the OneLegacy aftercare team here does an amazing job of keeping communication lines open, and I thank them. So that's my message to hospital staff. It starts with you making that call. So the Dodgers have a special place in our heart. Most pictures of Scott, he's wearing an LA cap, part of our life, part of Scott's life forever. And in those days when we were going to the medical center where he was before he was transferred, and while he was still on ventilator support, I wanted to do something just special. It's my boy. You wrap your baby in a blanket, and I wanted to wrap my son in a blanket. And I had a fleece blanket that was one of the many promotional blankets that we had over the years, and I draped it over his bed, over his body. His hands were warm. There's something about touching him that was really powerful. But I walked into that room, and they still had the Dodger blanket on him, and it was just so tenderly still on him. I thought it just meant the world to me that they took the time and the care to make my Dodger boy still have his Dodger blanket on. I reached under it, held his hand, said my goodbyes. The honor walk was a beautiful tribute, heartfelt, emotional, but important way to say goodbye, because I didn't get to say goodbye. And we folded up the blanket, and to this day, it's under my pillow. There are 4 other families on another end of Scott's journey, and he is giving them life. I'm Paula, and I'm a donor mom, and my son Scott saved 4 lives through organ donation.